Hello everyone, I am back for another video. Bit of a wait for this one. This is stock cars V8s at the Red Bull Ring in Austria, and yeah, they're an interesting bunch. It's a bit of a sort of a cross between DTM and sort of touring car. Just a few things to note when you watch this video, and something that Project Cars did have but they're missing it at the moment on beta, is when you can look in the mirrors, so to the left hand side, and look above, you can't see anything because they're pointing to the sky. You can't actually adjust the mirrors at all. So as you look, so sort of to the right hand corner, I can't see anything through that top mirror. Ignore my awful driving, I'll come to that in a minute. But basically, left and right hand mirrors really are useless in VR because you can't adjust them at all. So just worth noting that. But anyway, so yeah, we've got a new patch, and the patch for this one is the 0.04.0. Doesn't really change too much, and if I'm going to be honest, the brakes still haven't improved. I'm still massively suffering with the brake system. Two things from the brakes. Number one is people are complaining of basically brake fade and brake failure due to overheating of the brakes, to the point of that the brakes don't work anymore. That's a mechanical thing, but basically, in essence, if you've got like damage on, you continue to brake for, only like 5 laps in, and for some unknown reason there's a bug possibly where you'll get complete brake fade or brake failure and damaged brakes. I haven't experienced that myself, but people are reporting that. But the problem I've still got is I'm still really tentative on the brakes, really tentative, and I'm still getting the rears basically locking up and almost trying to turn the car around. I don't know if it's just the driving style, but it's just, you just can't put your foot on the brake without the car reacting. Like there, the car sort of just doesn't, it's just not turning in, and the cars are just locking the brakes up, and with anti-lock braking, you should be able to easily brake into the corners. So just keep mindful of watching this video and just see how it's always in corners that I'm really suffering. Yeah, and I'm just, in this particular race, I've suffered. I've only spent about 20 minutes driving these cars. I thought they'd be relatively easy to drive. They're not at all. They're far from it. I did play around slightly with the setup, and yeah, see, not good there. Did play around slightly with the setup, which has given me a bit of understeer, but basically when you apply the brakes, the rear end wants to completely turn you around. Hopefully this could be all sorted, because actually when it's working, they're quite nice to drive. As I say, they're sort of DTM style. Now also with this VR setup that I've got, I've tried to replicate sitting in the car best as possible. So i.e. I'm sat pretty much almost on the floor and almost on the rear seats to replicate driving these cars. And what I found is you can't see jack at all. Left or right hand corners, you can't see the curbs. I literally can't see anything. I'm having to guess. I mean, coming up to this right hand corner here, I'm having to try and guess where the curb is on the inside, hence why he was able to dart through on the inside of me. And this corner coming up here, the left hand side, I can't see it coming because the pillar and the wing mirror. So, and also, you see, I haven't really taken full extent of the right hand side there to sort of maximise my attack. So the seating position of this car is awful for me. I can't see anything in VR, hence why I was a lot slower as well. But this is the one championship that they've actually done pretty well in, Riser, because they've got the full liveries of a lot of the major sponsors as well, compared with some of the other cars that they've got, which are sort of fictional liveries. But whilst you're enjoying this awful driving, the update is very minor. They're saying they've adjusted some braking to it. I'm not so sure. It still feels a bit rubbish. The force feedback still very good indeed. No issues with the force feedback at all. I've made some minor adjustments, but basically it's working quite nicely. And there's a few other sort of changes they've made to AI performance at various tracks like Brands Hatch, Alton Park, Snetterton and Montreal. They've added some liveries to the Fiat Unos and a few other skins to a few other cars as well. They've done reasonably, the update's not massive, but it's always going that way. Just remember, this is a beta version of this game, so it's still massively in production. And if I'm being honest, I still really don't know when the full game's going to be. I think it's going to have been pushed back due to the virus, I'd imagine. So we're probably going to be talking maybe June now. There's also a custom date thing, which involves basically being able to change the date and the time of the track when you want to race on it as well. So you can see this is on, I think, ×5, so you've got the nice sun set, which is slowly coming down and also changes at every corner as well, because obviously the time's being ×5. So yeah, so that's where we're pretty much at the moment. I did try I don't know what it was like a 1950s sort of Formula 1 style car. I can't remember what they call it. It's like vintage Formula 1, and it's like 500 horsepower, basically on sort of radial tyres. They're not even slicks. Unbelievable. 5 minutes of that and I stopped it. Barely. I couldn't get... just feathering the throttle even on acceleration. It was almost like driving in the wet. You couldn't literally plant the throttle down and the car goes. It's literally just like blipping the throttle. And the understeer was incredible, and in my opinion they were totally undrivable. Don't know if that's just me and frustration setting in, but it wasn't for me. I wasn't happy with the car at all. So someone did ask on my YouTube channel if I could do a video on that one. I'm going to have to work on that because it's going to be an awful video, so I thought I'd stick to the touring car for the minute. You still see on the video I'm absolutely still struggling big time with this car, massively. It's just, maybe it's the setup, but I'm all over the place. But I'll let you have about 30 seconds of the sound of this car as well as we come into the first corner, so take a listen. So it's all sounding good, it's looking good. Not so much my driving, because that totally and utterly messed up the car. I know you want to see some really decent racing, but I was really struggling with this car, and I was just going backwards and backwards all the time. But don't worry, this is there's only one more lap to go after this, and then you'll be done with this video. I'll probably try and get some more VR videos done, because there's plenty of people out there just talking about the game. I think VR is just something a bit different for you guys to look at. I do actually like the look of these cars. They are very DTM style, and for sort of South American series, I'm surprised we don't seem to see more of that over in Europe, because they do look quite good, and obviously it's quite a competitive championship. We've got like Rubens Barrichello in it, and a few other big sort of F1 names. I'm not sure Antonio Pizzonio is the biggest one of the biggest F1 names, but he certainly was in F1 at some point, back here with the Jaguar. So it's got a following in South America, but personally I've never really known about it before. So yeah, I don't know if it's the brake bias, but it's causing all this issue with the car, just the sliding, and also as well is massive understeer. I mean, look at that, just straight off, straight into the gravel, just lost me plenty of time, clipped the car there. Yeah, not good, and they were through. But the AI is also improving massively. As I say, they're really starting to fight each other. They're not all over the road, so that's also good as well. So last couple of corners coming up now. I hope the video has been something pleasurable to look at, and not so much my voice. And like and subscribe for more videos that will be coming your way. I've finished work for the week, so I'll hopefully get another one out in a couple of days' time. And don't forget to sort of share this video about with the people who are also interested in the game. So yeah, hopefully more to come from this game, a lot more improvements, and until next time, I'll see you all very, very soon.